Good morning everyone and welcome to Totally Speedway's second instalment of the weekend review. I'm down here in Blackwater Bay in Sydney. Hopefully everyone can see me. I'm Totally Speedway's publisher and registered Daniel Powell. What a night we had of racing across the state and the country for that matter. Firstly, Sydney's Valvoline Raceway, it's like, whoa, Grant Anderson, what a drive. Put in a phenomenal effort from the rear of the field, came from position 20 to snatch the lead late in the race from an impressive Daniel Sayer. Daniel Sayer, in what was a career best drive, started on pole position and brought it home in second place. But Grant Anderson, he'd basically come out of nowhere. It was a real tough feature race where there wasn't a lot of stoppages, but Ando really put it together and grabbed his first career feature race win at Valvoline Raceway. His dad David's won a couple of feature races back in the day throughout the 90s, but Grant himself had never won a feature race at Sydney's Valvoline Raceway, so he was stoked. He's had a number of minor podium finishes over the years, but yeah, he got the job done. But yeah, it was a great drive to come from position 20, and you certainly know that the track's on point when drivers can come from the rear of the field. Daniel Sayer, what can you say about him? He put it on pole position. He ended up winning his heat race earlier in the night and was able to bring it home in an impressive second place. I think Daniel was kind of like a sitting duck late there in the feature race. He was out in front doing really well, and yeah, Ando was just able to get a better run. Sometimes it's an advantage running in second, but take nothing away from Daniel Sayer. He certainly had a great run. Finishing in second, there's nothing to be ashamed of. And yeah, it's a great start to the Ultimate Sprint Car Championship of New South Wales. Home in third place was Robbie Farr, the defending USC champion. And yeah, he certainly put in a powerful run to come through. James Thompson ended up in fourth, and Matt Dumsney ended up in fifth. Sean Dobson and Jamie Veal, there's certainly no love lost between those two. They were fighting over third place there in the middle for the majority of the first half of the race until there was an incident between Jamie had got past Sean, then Sean had got past him, and then after that there was contact between Veal and Dobson. Veal had spun and had to go to the rear of the field. Dobson had lost a number of positions, but yeah, there was certainly no love lost between the pair there. Sean making his feelings well known post the race, so yeah, over the speaker. But yeah, there's certainly a healthy rivalry there between the two. So Sean ended up in sixth place, and Jamie Veal, who was sent rear of field after spinning and bringing out the yellow, he came back from seventh. Mitchell G, the Queenslander for the Titan Racing Team, he came down and put in a career best drive at Sydney's Valvoline Raceway and ended up coming home in eighth spot. Jordan Brazier brought it home in ninth, but apart from the drive from Anderson, obviously Daniel Sayer and guys like that, Warren Ferguson, he done the alphabet. Warren he had a terrible heat run. He ended up spinning out twice, and for a guy of his calibre, he certainly was, it was certainly out of a character there. But, he spun twice in his heat, got ordered out of the race, so he got black flag because 2 spins and you're out. And he was able to, end up second in the C main, and then come from the back of the B to run fourth. The top 6 went through. He then came from the back of the A main, or the feature race, and brought it through into 10th. So that was probably one of the best, apart from Ando's, that was certainly an impressive drive from Warren Ferguson. There was a lot of the rookies done well, making their debut. So Daniel Cassidy stayed out of trouble. Jess Cassidy, even though it was her second outing, she certainly showed a lot of potential there. She was driving really well, and it's all going to come down to laps. And yeah, some drivers are just about learning. Darren Salmon made his USC 410 sprint car debut and done really well as there. It was just all about getting laps and adjusting. So another visitor on last night was Dylan Menz. Dylan Menz Had a bit of a tough run in his heat where he spun out on the front straight entering turn 1, but he was able to recover and come home and just miss out on a direct transfer into the feature. He started towards the back of the B main. He was moving forward, then ended up spinning mid-race, and then that sent him to the rear. And so it was, Dylan ended up coming back to 10th, but certainly showed a lot of promise. He had Marty Perovic, an experienced racer who's raced for over 20 years now in sprint cars. He was on swinging the spanners, so he had a lot of guidance there. So, but all in all, the ultimate sprint car championship, New South Wales round 1 was certainly an exciting event. We had some issues with Clay per view, I heard, so hopefully that they can get that sorted, and hopefully it can be better. The track was a little bit dusty, but at the end of the day, the feature race was an awesome race, and the passing that went on, and that's certainly beneficial. In the support classes, so we had Canberra's Michael Stewart. He ended up picking up the win, so drew first blood in the speed cars. Second was Darren Jenkins, and third was Reid Mackay. In fourth place was youngster who had a sensational debut season, Caden Brown. He ended up crashing in his first heat race, so for him to come back and just finish off the podium in fourth, it was a great effort, and a good way to bounce back. One of the hard luck stories in the speed car feature race was Michael Jordan. He rode out a massive wreck in turns 1 and 2, so it looked like there was a component failure, and that sent him into a big series of flips, which ended in the turn 2 outer wall. So thankfully, Michael was able to walk away unscathed. It's been a tough off-season for himself with the passing of his dad, and hopefully, chin up, mate, and hopefully, things turn around, mate. So, in the other support class, they had a healthy field of legend cars. I think there was 30 plus, and another Canberra racer, Liam Heaton. He ended up picking up the win in the legend cars. Liam drove strongly, was just strong out in front and was unable to be challenged. Nathan Camilleri, the youngster out of Sydney, brought it home in second, and third place was Dan Morris. So his car looked good out on the track, and he brought it home in third place. Bailey Goodwin, another youngster, he ended up bringing home in fourth place, and Graham Keats, Speedway kart veteran, he ended up completing the top 5. So that was all Sydney's Valvoline race. So it's awesome to be back. It was a great crowd there. They had a demolition derby, of course, so naturally that brings the crowd, but it was plenty of support for everyone. Great car numbers, just great to be back, just the vibe, and looking forward to what's going to be an awesome season. So speaking of awesome, James McFadden joined the likes of Brooke Tatnell, Kerry and Ian Madsen as an Australian World of Outlaws feature race winner. Night 2 of the National Open at Williams Grove in Pennsylvania. James ended up, it was a rain-affected feature race yesterday, so it was probably around lunchtime yesterday. It was Friday night over there. And James ended up put it on pole after winning the dash. The feature race was delayed due to the rain that had come, but the rain sorted out, and James McFadden was able to lead from start to finish, hold off PA Posse and Greg Hodnett. So Greg ended up second. Donny Schatz was third. So this was over 25 laps. So James done really well, and to be able to come to the PA Posse, take them on and collect a win. It's tough for the World of Outlaws regulars to go there, but for an Aussie who they're nicknaming PA Aussie instead of PA Posse, he's certainly showing his wares, and it's great to see that James come up and fly that flag for Australia and join the Madsen brothers and Brooke Tatnell as World of Outlaws feature race winners. So Donny Schatz ended up third. So he he completed the podium. Fellow Aussies Ian Madsen and Kerry Madsen, the brothers, they ended up 7th and 9th. So as we speak now, the third and final night of the National Open is taking place. So good luck. Hopefully J-Mac can back it up, and the Madsen brothers too. So other results last night. So we had Grafton Speedo for the Spring Cup at Hesson's Auto Parts that sponsored Grafton Speedo. In the V8 Jet Modifieds, it was Andrew Firth, who's the proprietor of Hesson's Auto Parts. He ended up winning the V8 Jet Modified feature race win. So he was wrapped with that, and kept it all together on a challenging Grafton Speedo track. It's the type of track that isn't really an oval, it's just circles upon, so there's no real straights. So yeah, the local Andrew Firth got the win. Tony Dunn ended up second, and David Blanche ended up third. Russell Ward, who's a newcomer to the V8 Dirt Modified ranks, he finished in fourth, and fifth was Scott Quirk. So that was in the V8 Dirt Modifieds. In the wingless sprints, Matthew Wright ended up taking the win ahead of his best mate, Michael Butcher. Scott Marsh brought it home in third. And in the street stockers, it was Jamie Smith who defeated Jamie Betts and David Putsey. So hopefully I'll get these names right. In the AMCA Nationals, it was Shane Newstead, who's the current Northern Territory champion in the AMCAs. Tony Blanche was second, and Matt Dunlop was third. In the junior sedans, Josh Boyd ended up picking up the win. Riley Smith brought it home in second, and Brock Youngberry was third. In the lightning sprints, Danny Stone came up from Sydney, and he was able to bring it home for the win. Brett Davies from Newcastle, he was second, and Craig Transon, who's in he's a local, he ended up in third place. The final class, small field of production sedans. Mark Quirk was the best of them. Wes Smith and Timothy Hards were in second and third place. Got that. And then we got last night at Cullenbullen Speedway, so that's in New South Wales, near Lithgow. So that's just past the Blue Mountains. They had their Daphne Blackley Memorial. In the compact speed cars, that had the big field of 15 cars. Mark Heaton ended up the win. Sorry, just battling flies here at the moment. Mark Heaton picked up the win. Brad Forge Card, I think that's how you say his name. He was second, and third was Dan Biner. In the micro sprints, it's Ernie Havis who drove to the victory in the feature race. Jason Summers was second, and Paul Curran was third. In the mod lights, Robbie Swain proved to be too strong for everyone. Ronnie Shears picked up second place. In the four-cylinder sedans, you had Josh Goldie. He ended up taking the win. Tara Swadling was second. She's out of Orange. And Amber Culverson was third. In the street stockers for the RSA street stockers, Mitch Duggan ended up the win and won the locals. Chris Marino was second, and Corey Foyle was third. In the juniors, another local in Jaden Healy. He ended up taking the feature race win for the junior sedans. Jackson Golding was second, and Max Essie was third. So we're getting a lot of racing coming on board now, and the race is just going to get busier and busier now. We've got last night was Mother Mountain, so they had their big event. And in the modified sedan, so it was night one. They're racing again tonight, and that's going to be action packed. So that's their final event. It's going to be held tonight, sort of thing. In the preliminary aim for the modified sedans, there was two preliminaries split up into two. Aidan Raymont was the winner. Second was Tim Atkin, and third was Mark Raymont in the preliminary feature number one. Then Sean Black, who's a super sedan racer, he ended up fourth, and Brad Yarrow was fifth. Jason Drever, another guy that stepped into the class, he is from AMCA Nationals, he ended up sixth. In the second preliminary features, Michael Shelford, he picked up the win. Jamie O'Meara was second, and third was former Australian champion Brett Baxter in the modified sedan. So the racing continues tonight, which will finish up, and with it being a public holiday tomorrow in New South Wales and Queensland. So there's plenty of racing still to come at Gympie's Mother Mountain in Queensland. So, and in the other classes, production sedans, another former Australian champion, Chris Pagel, he ended up taking the win. Jim Cowley, a returning Jim Cowley, the veteran, he ended up second, and Josh Krang was third. In the national fours, it was Brock Hancock. Second was Darryl Oliver, and third was current Queensland champion Justin Weir. In the junior sedan, so it was a comprehensive win yet again for Artie Jonick, so that was his first win for the season. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the wind's blowing it up. So Artie Jonick picked up the win. He won by 7 seconds. Jai Corbett was second, and Ellie Peacock was third. Ellie is the younger sister of former Australian Junior Sedan champion and now sprint car racer Jaden Peacock. In the mod lights, it was Clinton Hansey that picked up a win, so he drove strongly to defeat current Australian champion Aaron Prosser. And third was Terry Liedenveld. Terry, a former Australian champion and current South Australian and Queensland champion. He ended up, putting it all together. He was able to the best he could. He was one of the pre-race favourites, but he ended up, third was the best he could do last night. In the street stocks, Ryan Kala, I think that's how you say it, picked up the win. John Stallwood was second, and Jaden Snell was third. So that's all, and then the action continues at Mother Mountain tomorrow. Then we've just got a couple more events to cover before I get out of here, and I'm off to the NRL Grand Final this afternoon. So we've got Darwin's Northline Speedway in the Northern Territory. They had their season finale. It was only a low-key meeting. There was 6 classes. So the Formula 500s, Corey Jackson was the winner. Hayden Brown was second, and third was Casey Hills. So she done really well to complete the podium. In the AMCA Nationals, it was another youngster in Jacob Belcher. He ended up winning. He's been one of the form drivers and the consistent front runners up in Darwin in the AMCA Nationals. Brendan Kenner was second, and Maria Panzovich, I think that's how you say it. Sorry, Maria, if you're listening. So I can never say your name. Maria Panzovich, I think that's how you say it. She was third. In the wingless, was youngster Carl Quinlan, who's just finished his debut season in wingless sprints after stepping out of junior sedans. Lee McGovern was second, so Kale was able to pick up the win, and third was Brett Somerville. In the street stocks, Scott Bradbury drove to victory. Simon Spitzbuff, who's driving the ex-Anthony Bear car, he was second, and third was Tim Feehan. He's a go-karter, so he's recently stepped into street stocks, and he done really well to complete the podium in third for someone that doesn't have a whole lot of speedway experience. In the junior sedans, Jack Grimshaw finished the season on the top step of the podium. Lance Carew, arch rival, was second, and third was Nick Dennis. In the final class that was run at Darwin last night, it was Rebecca Pearson's Speedway Karts. She picked up the win. Tony Brown was second, and Yasmin Brown was third. And the final event that we're going to be talking about that's currently underway is the INEX Nationals for legend cars. So that's currently underway now. They've had practice. Yesterday was night 1, and today is the finals. So that'll be taking place around lunchtime. And the next, that's at Red River Valley Speedway. So that's in West Fargo in North Dakota. We've got 4 Australians there. So we've got current Australian champion Glenn Arnold, current Victorian and ACT champion Glenn Mitchell, and we've got Hayden Pascoe and Scott Keane. So they're flying the flag for Australia. Yesterday it was Glenn Arnold. There was a race of champions event that was held, and that was by invitation only. So it was for all the major winners in Australia and in over in America as well. And Glenn Arnold ended up coming away with the win, so he was rapt to do that, and that gives him plenty of confidence going into today's final. So hopefully they can, in the pro class. So Glenn Arnold and Hayden Pascoe are running in the pro class, and so hopefully that'll give him heaps of confidence to run through there and be able to run up the front. Hayden Pascoe in yesterday's feature race ended up 5th. He came from the back of the field in the pro class, and he came from position 17 to run 5th. So plenty of confidence there, and hopefully Hayden can have a good run, and same with Glenn in the pro class. In the Masters class, Glenn Mitchell, he also contested the race of champions. He came from the rear field. He ended up 9th. He's running really competitive in the Masters class, so expect to see him today contend for a front running position. And Scott Keane, he's really enjoying his time over there and gaining a lot of experience and having fun. So that's it, guys, for the first. I'll try and do it in front of a computer now. This sun out here, this is Blackwater Bay, so I'll just show you what we've got there. So we've got the Anzac Bridge in the back there, so with that, and it's around a dog park too. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. I'll see you. Also confirmed tonight for our conversations with Daniel Powell, myself. We're going to have experienced crew chief Glenn Beaton. So he's coming in. We're going to be doing the interview over the phone. So it's going to be on Facebook Live, the conversations with Daniel Powell. And that's going to be that'll be on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. So, yeah, hopefully everyone can tune in. So he's a guy that's worked with Jason Myers, obviously James McFadden, Jamie Veal. He's currently working with South Australian-based sprint car racer Glenn Sutherland. So we're going to be having a chat with him, talk about his time. Also, a lot of people won't know that he started in V8 Supercars doing as a mechanic there. So we'll talk about that, his time, and moving forward. So, yeah, so I confirmed that last night with Glenn, and he's more than happy to do it. So that'll be conversations with myself. That will be on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. And then we'll have the Q&A on Wednesday night at 7:30, and we'll also have the weekend preview on Friday. So thanks, guys, once again for tuning in. Please like, comment, share. Any feedback's awesome. Really appreciate the support, guys. And yeah, thanks for allowing me to do what I do. Thanks, guys. Have a good week. See you on Tuesday. Bye.